The ancient Egyptians regarded beauty as a sign of holiness. Everything the ancient Egyptians used had a spiritual aspect to it, including cosmetics, which is why cosmetics were an integral part of their daily lives. Traders traded makeup often, especially in the upper classes. In tombs, cosmetic palettes were found buried with the deceased as grave goods, which further emphasized the idea that cosmetics were not only used for aesthetic purposes but rather magical and religious purposes. Chemistry of ancient Egyptian cosmetics. The two main forms of eye makeup were green eye paint and black coal. The green eye paint was made of malachite, a green carbonate of copper, and the black coal was made from a substance called galena, a dark gray ore of lead. The malachite was used in the early pre-dynastic period, whereas galena was introduced in the late pre-dynastic period. Coal has two components, laurionite and phosgenite. These two minerals were not readily available in Egypt, which means that the ancient Egyptians must have used wet chemistry in order to synthesize them by filtering of rock salt and natron. Facial makeup included stain for cheeks and lips that was produced from red ochre from naturally colored clay that was mined and washed, then dried in the sun or burnt to achieve the red pigment. Henna, a naturally occurring plant, was used by the ancient Egyptians to paint their nails and dye their hair. Makeup was very important to them at that time. Medical uses of ancient Egyptian cosmetics. The ancient Egyptians were not entirely misguided in believing that coal would prevent eye infections, because it actually did prevent an ocular infection that was caused by the flooding of the Nile. The lead-based substances in the coal promoted the production of nitric oxide in their skin, which helped strengthen their immune systems against diseases. The soot in coal helped in reducing the damaging effects of sun glare on their eyes. The ancient Egyptians created a remedy for burns by mixing the cheek and lip stain and other remedies for improving skin with red natron, northern salt and honey. However, the ancient Egyptians strongly believed that the healing effects of these cosmetics were magical rather than medical. Cosmetic palettes and jars. Cosmetics palettes were used to grind makeup. The earliest examples were rectangular in shape and date back to 5000 BC. The palettes later adopted a rounder shape like the Nama palette. King Nama's palette was the earliest piece of its kind. It has decorations of the king smiting the enemies of Egypt and the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt, as well as a cavity for the grinding of cosmetics, making it a double-purpose palette. These later developed into fish-shaped palettes. They might have chosen the fish shape as the fish was a symbol of resurrection and new life. The fish-shaped palettes were usually adorned with precious stones for royalty. These palettes have developed into baboon-shaped containers to hold the coal, which held symbolic meanings for the ancient Egyptians.